Now, researchers aren't exactly sure where OCD comes from or how it manifests. Some say, Hello, and welcome to Mental Health Monday, where we discuss advocacy, resources, and ending the stigma associated with mental health. I am your host, Amanda, and today we are going to talk to you about OCD, aka Obsessive Compulsive Disorder. Now, Obsessive Compulsive Disorder is described by obsessions, obsessive thinking, intrusive thinking, also followed by a compulsion. So oftentimes that means I have to flip a light switch 3 or 4 times or my family's gonna die. Or maybe that means I need to excessively wash my hands after I use the bathroom, or I'm going to get cancer. There is also another form of OCD called pure OCD, which actually just consists of the obsessions. But today we are just going to be talking generally about OCD in specifics. There are many different types of OCD and many different types of obsessions that you can have. I'm sure you've heard of somebody being a hypochondriac. That's actually now being renamed into health OCD. There are also things like relationship OCD, where you obsess over your relationship. Other kinds of obsessions include sexual obsessions, violent obsessions, contamination obsessions, responsibility obsessions. There's also identity obsessions and religious obsessions. Now, these are just a few. If you want to look into more of what these consist of and what these look like, you can go down to the description and click on the link we have provided for you. OCD is so much more than I have to keep things clean and tidy. A lot of times we hear that stigma associated with OCD. If we like things organized, or if we're cleaning something, oh, I'm so OCD. That's not necessarily fair to the individuals, like myself, who struggle with OCD. For me specifically, my OCD manifests around health-related OCD. If I have a specific bodily sensation, I automatically go down the rabbit hole of what's wrong with me? Do I have cancer? What's going on? And then that leads me to Googling the bodily sensation and going down the rabbit hole that is the WebMD nightmare. This has actually caused me to avoid specific things like food, protein, meat, and has caused me a great deal of stress with my diet. And that's just my personal experience, a little tidbit that I wanted to personally share. But remember, do not self-diagnose. Always talk to your care team, always talk to a professional, and always talk to a provider so that you know that this diagnosis is yours or maybe not yours. So when we talk about compulsions, there are also different types of compulsions as well. There's washing and cleaning, checking, repeating, there's counting, praying, putting things in order. There's so many different things that can be considered a compulsion, which is why it's extremely important. If you want to learn more about this topic, visit the link in the description that we have provided, because it provides you with so much great information. I like to describe OCD as my best friend who's extremely overprotective, who's constantly trying to protect me from perceived threat, but it's not actually there. And she will go to great lengths to try to protect me. That's kind of how OCD manifests specifically for me. Could be different for you, but that's just how I like to personify it. Oftentimes, the thing that works the most for me, which may not work for you, and that's okay, find your own rhythm, but what works for me is thought stopping and basically naming the thought as irrelevant. A lot of times when we get these obsessions or these intrusions or these inclinations to do the compulsion, I will name the thought. I'm having an intrusive thought that I can't eat this because it's gonna make me sick. And then I tell myself, well, that doesn't matter. And then I try to eat the thing anyways. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. This is why exposure response prevention is named the gold standard for OCD. Although something different like internal family systems or cognitive behavioral therapy or eye movement desensitization and reprocessing could be the helpful thing for your OCD. It all depends on your own personal journey. Now, Dr. Stephen Phillipson, who coined the term pure O, likes to say, the more desperate you are for your brain to not send these signals, the more it reinforces the brain's tendency to do just that. What this means is the more you try to fight the anxiety of OCD or the OCD tendencies, the more they will fight right back. And the more your brain will think, oh, this is something I need to pay attention to. This is a danger. This is a threat. Obviously, this is a very difficult thing to do, so be sure that you have your care team and you know what works best for you. Thanks for joining us today on Mental Health Monday, where we discussed OCD. Make sure to reach out to your care team if you want to know more about OCD, and if you have it or if you're curious about things, always talk to the professionals. I'm just a peer supporter making a YouTube video. And Brian is the man behind the camera making the magic happen. We do the best research that we can, but sometimes it's not enough, so do your own, talk to the experts, and we will see you next time on Mental Health Monday. Bye.